Good evening. More than 200 people caused mayhem in Collingwood overnight after a violent brawl broke out, fuelled by a group of youths. At the height of the drama, a car was driven through the crowd, mowing a man down. Terrified locals locked themselves inside their homes as other offenders used homemade weapons to continue the violence.
A swarming mass of unrelenting violence. 200 youths trading blows and leaving the streets of Collingwood a bloodied mess. They armed themselves with metal poles and wooden pickets, then chased down their victims and left Martyr Street in disbelief.
It was screaming and smashing like it was riot noise.
I saw a couple running with the rods in their hands.
At the height of the chaos, locals say a car lined up the crowd and sped towards it. It then crashed into several parked cars before it pinned a man to the boot of another. It's believed he's been left with extensive leg injuries. But the crash didn't stop the anger. It only fuelled what was already a savage sight.
It's horrible to see. Pretty unsettling, to be honest.
One local said a man and woman were forced to shelter in a car, while a man who she says was Sudanese jumped on the roof. At the same time, a pack of men were said to be kicking a man who was cowering on the ground. The violence began inside the Gasometer hotel just before 3 a.m. Police say they knew about the record launch event and had patrols in place. It wasn't enough.
History shows us that a demographic of the crowd that we're talking about, so it's primarily Pacific Islanders and African Australians.
They were all there for a record launch for Melbourne artists. Hours before the event began, organisers warned partygoers to be mindful of your surroundings and understand violence will not be tolerated.
Like, it was mayhem. There was just a huge eruption of noise.
6 men aged between 18 and 21 were taken to hospitals across the city.
Chanel Vella joins us now from Collingwood. And Chanel, has anyone been arrested?
Mitch, at this stage there have been no arrests. Police say when they arrived on scene last night, everyone scrambled and they couldn't make arrests, and they quickly turned their minds to helping the injured. There was quite the triage situation set up as they went to those who were in need first, and of course paramedics were soon on scene, helping people on the street, fitting drips to them, helping them get to hospital. But as for arrests, police say they know who they are looking for and it is only a matter of time. Mitch.
Thanks, Chanel. Live now to Christy Mayer at State Parliament. And Christy, local leaders are speaking out about this violent brawl.
They certainly are, Mitch. Premier Daniel Andrews has condemned the rioters for their behaviour, vowing that those at the centre of the rampage will be caught and punished. But of course, it's not the first time we've seen gang violence on this scale in city streets in recent years. And when asked if law and order is going far enough in Victoria, the Premier was quick to defend the government's actions.
We don't shy away from the fact that we needed to provide Victoria Police with extra resources. We will not accept this sort of conduct, and that's why Victoria Police, I know, will be working very, very hard to deal with each and every one of the people involved.
Now, it'll come as no surprise that the state opposition was quick to fire back, accusing the Andrews government of failing to keep Victorians safe.
Well, once again, we've seen lawlessness in Victoria under Daniel Andrews. This just continues weekend after weekend.
We'll soon see the fallout from this, the political fallout, with the state election in just 12 weeks. Mitch.
Thanks, Christy.
Good evening. A man is fighting for life after being rammed by a car during a wild brawl in Collingwood. Around 200 partygoers spilled into residential streets, jumping on cars and arming themselves with makeshift weapons. Lana Murphy has more.
Bloodied faces and broken bodies lying on the street. A man in pain as paramedics work on him, his leg completely crushed after being rammed and pinned between 2 cars. The bloody end to a brawl between almost 200 partygoers in Collingwood around 2:45 this morning.
Sprinting down Smith Street, young men punch on. Down a back alley, a brute stomps on a person's head. Residents and police powerless to stop the fighting as men arm themselves with garden stakes and poles.
It was certainly a chaotic scene when police arrived.
It was screaming and smashing it was riot noise. People jumping on cars, smashing. There was plenty of fighting going on.
All coming to a crashing end when this car ploughed into a man.
There was a car speeding up and down the side street here, and then all of a sudden they heard a crash.
It looked like it was intended for people.
Multiple cars written off along the way. One couple cowering inside this vehicle as thugs fought on the roof. Trails of blood left on the footpath as major collision detectives analysed the road. The Premier vowing to bring those responsible to justice.
This is absolutely unacceptable and will not be tolerated in our city and state.
The revellers had been partying at a nearby pub.
It was a music industry launch. There's been some sort of angst inside the premises, and from there that's spilled out into the streets.
Police have revealed they deployed an extra 2 to 3 patrol crews once they became aware of the event here at the Gasometer Hotel. The organisers even warning on Facebook that troublemakers would not be welcome. The venue declined to comment as police criticised its security measures.
And Lana joins me now live from Collingwood. Lana, have there been any arrests?
Not yet, Alicia, but police have assured us they have zeroed in on their suspect, that is the driver who was behind the wheel of the car when it ploughed into that 18-year-old man. Police have spoken to the owner of the car who was not inside it at the time and say that they're confident they'll speak to the driver within 24 hours. There's still a small police presence here on the corner of Smith and Mater Streets just to allay any fears residents may have while that 18-year-old continues his fight for life at the Alfred Hospital. Alicia, he's in a critical but stable condition.
All right, Lana, thank you.